Okay, so the main purpose of this video is not talking about features or specs. मैं इस वीडियो में features और specs की बात नहीं करने वाला. अगर आपको वो चाहिए then I've made a separate video about those and you can go check it out in the I button above. इस वीडियो में मैं स्पेसिफिकली वो चीज़ें बताऊंगा इस गिम्बल के बारे में जो मुझे बहुत ही अच्छी और बहुत ही बुरी लगी. And there are a few things that I did not like at all. So yeah, I mean I'm going to share some footage that I've shot on professional shoots also. Yeah, let's continue with this video. Okay, so let's talk about the good things first. So performance is obviously the most important thing here. You guys need to know how well does it stabilizes the video. And I would say that it does a really good job. But I still have some mixed feelings about the performance of this gimbal because while most of the times I get good footage, but sometimes I get some jitters that should not have been there. That is because of one thing that I've noticed in this gimbal. See, this gimbal will stabilize your videos perfectly as long as you have balanced it perfectly. Now don't get me wrong here. I know that we always have to balance a gimbal perfectly before using it. But we do not live in an ideal world. There would be a lot of cases where you won't have enough time to balance a gimbal perfectly. And in a lot of gimbals that are already out there, even if you don't balance them perfectly, they will still give you quite smooth footage, like really good footage. You won't even notice a lot of times that it wasn't balanced perfectly. And that usually happens because of the powerful motors. But that is not the case in this gimbal. Now, that is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I have got some amazing smooth footage with this gimbal, but you all should know that I always balance it perfectly. Only then it's possible. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the features in detail in this video because again, for that, you're going to have to go to the I button. In that video, I have explained all the good features in this gimbal. All I would say in this video is that it has all the crazy good features that you can find in the modern gimbals these days. Yeah, I mean, from follow focus to vortex mode, it has everything. But my favorite thing in this gimbal is this dial. It is super practical, I'm telling you. This dial is basically, it has 4 buttons and you can control the follow mode or the lock mode of different axes directly with this dial. I mean, for example, ये जो नीचे वाला बटन है, it controls the pan axis और मैं इसको एक बार टैप करके pan axis को या तो follow पे डाल सकता हूँ नहीं तो lock कर सकता हूँ pan axis को, which is crazy practical. I mean, if you consider other gimbals, to do the same thing, you have to go either into the phone app or you have to like go into the menu in the gimbal itself, which is not very practical when you're, out there shooting, and especially when you are on a run and gun shoot. So in that kind of a scenario, you can just tap a button and put an axis to either follow mode or a lock mode, which is, I mean, it is a great feature. So like, it is a very user-friendly interface and I really loved it. Well, to be honest, I think it is not the smallest gimbal out there, but it is smaller than a lot of gimbals with the similar kind of payload. For example, Ronin SC is a bit smaller than this gimbal, but a lot of gimbals with similar kind of payload are bigger and also heavier than this gimbal. The size is smaller than a lot of other gimbals and it is lightweight also, so I haven't had any issues with fitting it into my bag and carrying it with me. So yes, I would definitely give it a thumbs up in terms of portability. Okay, before going to the bad stuff, if you are finding this video useful, then, subscribe to the channel please for more such content. That is a good way for you guys to show some appreciation for the insane amount of effort that goes into making these videos. Trust me guys, it's not easy. देख के मुझे भी लगता था कि क्या ये है बना के डालनी तो videos, but a lot of effort goes into this, so a sub would be much appreciated. Let's head on to the bad stuff now. Okay, I have put the battery in this category because even though I love the design of this battery because I don't have to carry a special charger, separate charger for this battery. I can just charge it with my phone's C-type charger. but the battery life in my experience is not even close to what they write on their sheet. They guarantee you about 10 to 12 hours of the battery with a single full charge. But in my experience on a shoot where I am shooting with it constantly for like 3 hours or something, I have noticed that it drops from 100 to a 50%, which is like a huge drop in my opinion if you're one of those people who have to shoot for a whole day. Then I think you will be in some trouble and you're gonna have to carry an extra battery in that case. And battery life gradually decreases with every charge. I mean, I've noticed that I haven't had this gimbal for very long, but still I've noticed some real drop in the battery life. So yeah, I mean, and there is one more weird thing with this battery that I've noticed. I can charge it as much as I can. It won't matter. It will show me full battery on the battery itself. But when I put it into the gimbal, it never shows me the full battery. I don't know why. It used to show me the full battery in the beginning, but now, like from last 3 or 4 shoots, I've been observing that whenever I put it into the gimbal, it never shows me the full battery. I don't know why. That's just a weird thing. Okay, I am so confused about what Moza has done here. The payload that they mentioned in their spec sheet is 3.2 kgs. But I have seen some weird things with the payload. Right now I'm using this Fujifilm setup, which is relatively heavier because the body itself is a little bit heavy. Not on the heaviest side, but yes, it is heavier than most of the setups. But before this, I used to use a Sony a6300 setup, which was very, very light. And there's this option in this gimbal where you can auto calibrate it, and the gimbal itself will assign a motor strength to each motor according to the weight of the setup. Now what I noticed is when I used to auto calibrate it with the a6300, it used to put each and every it used to put all 3 of its motors at their 100% strength, which is weird because that setup was not even 1/3 of the total payload. It is a weird thing. I don't know why it happens, but it was happening with me and it still happens with me. Like X-T4 is also a little heavier setup, so it puts all the motors to their 100% strength. It can only mean one thing, that the motors are weak. I don't want to jump onto any conclusions here, but that is what it looks like in my case at least. But in case you have brought this gimbal, or if you are planning to buy this gimbal, I don't think this should be one of the things that should bother you, because anyway this gimbal performs really well with all these mirrorless cameras like A7 III or X-T4. Like you're gonna have some really good footage, but you should know that it'll put all its motors on its 100% strength when you auto calibrate it with those cameras. Okay, so balancing this gimbal would go very smooth in most of the lightweight setups. But what I have noticed is that the moment your setup becomes too front heavy, like in case if you're using a big lens or something, it'll give you way too much trouble to balance it in that case. And there's this one more weird thing, like if you're using a battery grip or a cage or some sort of an equipment that raises the height of your camera, forget about it. You won't be able to balance the camera on your gimbal in that case at all. It just won't balance in that case. And that really sucks, because most of the times I like to, whenever I'm shooting handheld, which is most of the times, I like to do it with my battery grip on the camera, because of the added weight to the camera, and the shots become really steady in that case. But I have to take off the battery grip every time I am balancing this camera on the gimbal. And that really sucks, that is the worst thing about this gimbal. Like, I did not like it at all. Okay, coming to the conclusion, considering the pros and the cons, who is this gimbal for? I would say anyone. Like, it can be used by anyone. Like, I seriously mean it. Especially people who are planning to buy their first gimbal and they really want some cool features to experiment with and, play with. I mean, whatever. I mean, if you feel like those features would add to your filmmaking, then definitely this gimbal is the right choice for you. The gimbal itself has given me some really, really good looking smooth footage, like in my case at least. but you should definitely know the quirks that it comes with, so that you can be prepared to deal with them already. That is what I'm here for, to tell you the quirks of these products. No product is perfect, but if you know how to deal with the little setbacks that it comes with, if you know how to deal with them, I think you can use any product in a great way. This is especially for the people who have already brought this gimbal. Do not be do not believe like you cannot use this gimbal to get good shots. I have used this gimbal in a lot of shoots and I've got some really crazy shots. So you can definitely use this gimbal for all sorts of shoots. So yeah, that's it. I think I should really stop talking now. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found this video useful, then do consider subscribing to my channel. It would be really helpful for me. And since a lot of people have asked, like a lot of subscribers especially have asked me to make a basic course for people who want to start using DaVinci Resolve, I am definitely going to put it on my channel really soon. So wait for that. You can follow me on my Instagram to get in touch with me personally. If you have any kind of problems related to anything that I say in these videos, you can ask me personally. I always reply to Insta DMs. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, be kind, keep grinding. Bye bye.